Neverending Chain by Dragon Translator. Chapter 33. Why are you here? Stoic stood off to the side as Hiccup told the tale. He watched Hilda hold her hand over her mouth when Hiccup spoke of the Inferno and showed the results of him falling off of Toothless. Stoic closed his eyes, once again reminded of how close he had come to losing his son. That explains how you got the Night Fury to act like a trained dog, Patrick said, and Stoic had to resist cracking the man's skull. No one held the right to compare Toothless to a mere trained hound. All the dragons were more than Stoic ever thought possible, but Toothless was special. His species had every Viking fearing his signature sound, but he held compassion enough to befriend the one who had hurt him. He had the insight to know that the same human deserved more than all the Vikings, especially Stoic, had given him. Stoic would forever remain both jealous and proud of Toothless. The dragon had earned his place and earned all the honour due to a true warrior. But it ne'er explains why you had to tell the dragons everything be fine before they move, Padraig said. Stoic hated Padraig's tone, but he agreed with the man's words. Hiccup's actions with Toothless and the dragons in the arena should have only resulted with them declaring him their alpha. That the dragons who were also wind up the mates of all but those of the arena dragons also calling Hiccup their alpha, even before the images showed his valour, always confused Stoic. It did not make sense. They had not known Hiccup, and had not yet seen everything the gods were to show all those who wound up in Gyda's home, but still bowed to Hiccup. When the wild dragons ceased annoying everyone and declared Hiccup their alpha, that made more sense to Stoic. Hiccup had, at that time, defeated their queen. It was a natural progression for followers to bow to a new leadership, especially if the leadership did not eat them for failing. It made sense until Hiccup informed him the wild dragons had not known or seen the final battle, and yet still declared Hiccup their alpha. As confused as that still made Stoic, he had come to know many things since Berk became a nest of humans and dragons. Hiccup was far more superior than Stoic in leadership abilities. He also knew that even with the dragons bowing to Hiccup and obeying him, those who bonded to other humans would still listen to their riders. Yet, like Patrick pointed out, Hiccup had to speak before the dragons left the line they had formed, just after Hiccup yelled enough and moved to stand beside Stoic. It started with Snotmount. As soon as Stoic finished suggesting Hiccup and his friend give the story of how this all came to be, the ever-impatient boy stepped out of the line. Snotlout then moved towards the dais at the back of the hall, and made it halfway, before realising he was alone. The lad had turned back, calling for Hookfang. Neither Hookfang nor Wingblaze acknowledged him. Both had their gazes fixed upon Hiccup. Stoic had put that off as Hookfang still trying to teach Snotlout manners. Stoic had not been blind. He saw the actions and heard the comments Hookfang gave Snotlout, and had recognised that the dragon had decided to be a father to Snotlout. Stoic had approved. Hookfang managed to teach Snotlout the importance of backing his leader. Snotlout had proven that when he pledged to follow Hiccup wherever he went. When Meatlug, who doted upon fish legs like a mother to her child, did not move after the Ingerman lad walked away, Stoic knew something was odd. Stoic had stared at the dragons after that, and found all were gazing at Hiccup. They seemed aware of their surroundings, and seemed to be able to hear and make noises, but none were capable of leaving where they stood, or from looking away from Hiccup. It had taken Gyda stepping closer to Hiccup and whispering into his ear to resolve the issue. Stoic had stood there and watched as his son told the dragons everything was fine, and all the dragons looked away from him, as if nothing were ever amiss. Hookfang and Windblaze moved to curl up around Snotlout. Meatlog and Boulder bounded over to Fishlegs and nuzzled against him. The two Zibblebacks bombarded the twins with headbutts and nudges. Firestorm laid his head on Tallgear's lap. Shadowfire laid the top of his head against his mother. Stormfly, Windwalker, Sharpshot and Sneaky joined Toothless in being near to Hiccup and Astrid. The young Nadder Dervler was housing moved to gather his siblings from the terrace, watching over them, and joined Dervler at the far side of the hall. The ones Hiccup had called elders shuffled near to the pile of sleeping sheep, and laid down, though none fell asleep. The terrors watching the sheep flew back up to the rafters. Frost and Pale guided the hatchlings over to Gida, though both had to ensure little Icewing did not race to Hiccup's side. Stoic realized that he knew something else. His son held more power over those dragons than anyone had first realized. It seemed to have surprised even Gida, and she knew the future they were to walk. Stoic had resolved then to find out what was going on. "Your boy really killed a giant dragon?" Stoic did not blink, or otherwise give any clues that the helmsman's sudden question caught him off guard. He simply turned his thoughts from memories and his own questions, and focused upon the man, even as he heard Hiccup try to answer Padrick without mentioning the fact that dragons could speak, and had bowed to Hiccup. Stoic frowned at the helmsman. I be there," he said, not proud that he'd almost killed his entire tribe, but proud he had been able to see his son's moment of glory. "And I witnessed it," he continued. "So did most of the tribe." The man tilted his head. "Intriguing." Stoic grunted. "Why you be here?" he asked, lowering his voice. "What did your father hope to gain by this?" As soon as he recognized the man as Chief Henrik's son, Stoic knew the old chief was up to something. Stoic did not think the man was playing him for a fool. Henrik and Stoic were close friends. Stoic had saved Henrik's life many years prior. Still, it did not make sense that Henrik would call upon Stoic, inform him of the thing happening in the spring, and then send his heir to Berg as winter hit. Henrik had to have known Stoic would not send any that came with Hilda and Bainson back. The waters were too treacherous, and it would be no issue to house Hilda's escorts until spring. Especially with the dragons aiding in bringing in enough food to last 2 winters back to back. "Father knows you wouldn't have let the dragons move in without cause," the man, Steinar, whispered, "and he knows you wouldn't turn 'em round and seek more than this island you call home." "So, why are you here?" "To give a voice in the thing that's not just from book. There be those who not believe you, Chief. Even if you respected it, cause of surviving that Drago fellow and saving my father in the process." Stoic blinked. "Your father sent you to live with us for the winter, so you can testify at the thing?" "Aye. I came not sure what I'd find. I ne'er expected this. Your boy really controls them beasts?" Stoic rankled at that. "They are not beasts," he stated firmly. "The wood that fed the fires in here be brought in by them dragons. The food cooking in them kettles be gathered by them dragons." "You trained him to fetch?" Steinar asked. "No," Hiccup said, walking over with Sharpshot on his back, Toothless at his right, Astrid at his left, and Stormfly at Astrid's left. Windwalker came alongside Stormfly's left. "We didn't train them or tame them. We befriended them. We have learnt that dragons that gather like this tend to view their home as a nest, and all in that nest strive to ensure the nest's survival. That is what they did with the Red Death. She just made them raid us or ate them if they failed to bring her food." "Aye, I heard that in your tale, young Hiccup," Steinar said. "But you speak as if them dragons ain't animals." Stoic watched as Hiccup smiled, placing a hand on top of Toothless's head. "Toothless could have killed me when I freed him, but he didn't. He could have had me killed when I repeatedly visited him, and he was essentially trapped. But he didn't. I know of a whole island's worth of outcast humans who don't show that much intelligence or honour. Steinar stared at Hiccup in silence for several heartbeats, before giving a gruff bellow of laughter. He then lifted his hand. Stoic intercepted the arm. He knew Steinar wanted to pat Hiccup's free shoulder. Steinar had accepted Hiccup's words when he laughed. Stoic knew that. Stoic also knew the dragons would not have reacted well to a new human slapping their alpha, even if it was meant to be a friendly gesture. Steinar stared at Stoic, eyebrow raised. Hiccup answered him. They are protective, and they don't know you. Best not to do anything they might see as aggressive, until they understand you mean us no harm. Steinar tilted his head. You speak with wisdom far beyond your age, young Hiccup. Hiccup smiled, and Stoic grinned at Steinar's shocked expression when Hiccup lowered his voice to say something else. And your father shows his loyalty to Burke by sending you to stand as a witness for us at the thing. Stoic hid his own surprise as he learned something else. His son was not blind or unobservant, and could rightly see through anything to the heart of the matter at hand. Stoic once again mourned that Valka could not be here to see her son. End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed this one. This is the first chapter of this story, or indeed of this franchise, that I recorded from my new laptop. If you hear songs in the background or music, that is my way of getting remonetized. Months and months ago, I contacted the Google support team to ask them how I could get my money back on YouTube after I was taken down, after that feature was taken away in March. And it turns out if I got a laptop and put copyright-free music in the background of my videos, I would be able to get my money back. So if it annoys you guys, please, this is something I need to do. Storytelling is one of the oldest jobs in the world after things such as gathering, fishing, hunting, survival things. And I really think it's my calling to be a storyteller. If this is the way I can earn money doing that, I'm going to do it. Please respect that, guys. And I like Steinar. He's a good character. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment and subscribe and hit that bell to get notified for whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye my guys, gals and non-binary pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care.